I heard some people on Fox News, not that I watch that frequently.
You guys get that up here too?
Well, we can get it on YouTube. We can get most things on. Funny enough, though,
It's just foxes.
we can get just foxes running around the news. Canadian Fox News.
Arctic Fox News.
All of a sudden, like I don't know what eats a fox, like a
mountain lion.
A mountain lion's coming up behind. We're like, that's the excitement, that's the danger. And then there's a deer water skiing in the background, and that's the Canadian.
There's a cameraman on
Fox
snowshoes.
There was
no news.
Do you want to know
It's
something?
literally just updates on foxes.
Do you want to know something funny? We can get Fox News here in Canada, but I could not watch your Prime special here.
Oh, that's funny. Well, if you want to know what Fox News and Arctic Fox News have in common, when you turn on, it's all whites. It's all.
It's a different kind of snowstorm each time, but it's a whiteout either way. Wait, Dustin.
I've never liked the way I look, or sound, but I do have a memorable voice, which I think is important.
That's helpful.
And a memorable look.
Yeah.
Oh, someone told me I was hot in my DM today, so there we go.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, we'll
see if they'll come to the show tonight. You
ready for this?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I took a screenshot and sent it to my wife.
And does this happen often?
Nah, I gotta. There's a type that likes me.
Right. Okay.
And it's a lot of single moms.
I can see that.
You know, or maybe they're not even single moms who aren't happy in their marriage, and they're like, that guy's funny. He's age appropriate. And he seems like he loves a wife and children.
Yes,
and,
you do.
The questions I get in every once in a while, not a lot, because I'm a wife guy. Like I take photos.
You said you got married when you were 19.
I got married as 19.
Yeah,
I'm like, and I have a marriage book called How to Be Married to Melissa. I'm a wife guy. All my photos with fans are doing hover hands. I don't touch. I do the Keanu. I don't touch. And half my act is about how much.
Yeah. You're being smart, though.
How much I like my wife.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still in this one. Dear God, you are hot. Any single brothers by chance? So
well, they're asking for brothers.
They're asking for brothers.
Do you have brothers?
No.
Okay,
I got a sister, and it's a modern world, so
if that's what they're into. But I feel like the type of woman, because you kind of have like a bit of like a Ned Flanders kind of vibe, right? So
I get Flanders a lot.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I've been. One of the top comments. I did this joke in my last special that I ever got. Somebody said, they called me a less funny Ned Flanders.
No.
I'm like, Flanders isn't funny.
No, I'm less funny.
Yeah,
there is
less funny, more religious.
There are.
What?
There are a couple episodes though where Flanders has got his shirt off.
Mm-hmm.
Sexy Flanders. So
I don't. It doesn't look animated under there. It's not good. But everyone's got a type. Whatever you are, you're someone's type.
Do you have a type?
My wife.
Your wife is your type.
Yeah, I like a artsy brunette with great bangs, named Melissa in the San Diego area.
Okay, that's so sweet.
I did a comedian friend of mine recently. We were like, where were we at? It doesn't matter. It's not important to the story. Las Vegas, actually, it's an exciting city, and he was just going on a rant about how much he's like, man, I just like an artsy. He said almost exactly what I just said, like kind of just like an artsy, like cool, like brunette type. And I'm like, he's like, that's your type too. I was like, you're just describing my wife.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can call it your type anymore after 20 years. You're like, I mean, the person I've sworn to marriage to. Yeah, I hope
that you
that's
share
my
property
type.
with. That you also have a podcast.
We have a shared bank account. Yeah. Yes, that's my type. She knows my blood type. We're in pretty.
That is the type.
That's the type.
That's my new type. Actually, whoever knows my
your
blood type.
Yeah. I don't know my blood type, but she knows mine.
She doesn't have ADHD, does she?
No, she's got her own little jambalaya of diagnoses, which we all do. But no, thank God.
I think that's good. You got
someone has to do the taxes.
Care of the admin. Yeah.
I know. I'd be in jail.
Remember to do it.
If not, but not for any,
Yeah, it wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be for touching people inappropriately.
No, there'd be no malice.
Hands. Yeah.
It'd just be neglect. They're like, sir, you haven't paid taxes for a while. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize I have to pay those now.
Be like, but I'm really funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that, can I tell you a joke? Tell a joke to the accountant.
How does funny in jail play? Not helpful? All right. Well, I'm someone's
Flanders might be helpful.
I'm someone's type there too. I'm the yard type. This is nice. I'm glad I put on. When you do podcasts, you're like, okay, is it going to be full body? I'm glad I put on at least some semblance of an outfit.
You did. And you got shoes too.
The shoes are what I'm actually kind of trying to hide.
Okay. We don't have to. I've got like
no, it's fine. They're New Balances. I'm on brand and everything. But
it's a brand name, man.
These are, listen, I travel with 2 pairs of New Balances. I travel stage New Balances and then walk around New Balances. These are my airport New Balances.
Oh, okay. You didn't bring any boots to Canada?
No, I mean, I'm not really outside that much. Yeah. I also don't want to check a bag. It's the whole thing.
Okay.
You don't sell merch in Canada.
Yeah.
Square yells at you as soon as you pull it up. It's a whole to-do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and with air travel right now.
Yeah. So I was on that exact flight.
You were on the flight Minneapolis to Toronto.
I wasn't on the one that flipped, but the plane flipped 2 days ago when I was on.
Okay, wait, let me hit everybody with a quick intro, and I think we're going to start the episode here. Yeah, okay, great. Hi, guys. If you haven't been listening to our fascinating conversation already, we're back with Overstimulated with me, Hillary Henderson, and we have a guest today. Very exciting. He's our first American guest.
Is that true?
That is true. He is the survivor. Well, he wasn't on that Delta flight, but he was just telling us he was on that same flight path last night.
Yeah.
He made it here in one piece. We got Dustin Nickerson in the studio here today, guys.
Yes.
Welcome, Dustin.
Thank you for having me.
You made it to Toronto in one piece last night.
No, I saw the news, like, they're like, Delta flight crashes, and you're like, okay, I fly Delta. And then they're like, in Toronto, and you're like, I'm going to Toronto this weekend. They're like, outbound from Minneapolis. I'm like, I'm not on that exact flight. And then you do the math that you do as a traveler. You go, I mean, flights, like the odds of a plane crashing are pretty low. The odds of the same flight crashing.
Yeah.
This is probably the safest flight in the world.
It's like rolling snake eyes. Like, it can't happen.
It's not going to happen again, right? I will say the turbulence hits a little harder right now. You're just like, oh, we're all just kind of like looking around, like, don't say anything.
Yeah.
You're like, it's kind of like the reverse energy of like a no-hitter where they don't talk to each other. You're like, don't say anything. Don't say anything.
Because if you say it, you're going to spook it. And then,
yeah. No, there was a 19-year-old in front of me who was upset that they wouldn't give him a drink. Because he's like, we land in Toronto. And he was like with his dad. And he was like, well, I just hope this plane crashes. And I'm like, no. Don't say that.
Because he was underage.
Because he was underage, but he's like, we're landing in Toronto, though.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't know how that works.
The rules of the air.
The rules of the
who
sky.
knows? Yeah.
Who has jurisdiction up here? I don't know. I don't know how any of that works. I think
it's a lawless land. Like, people are farting. You can have alcohol any time of the day.
Anybody should be able to drink up there. How are you going to get that baby to sleep?
True.
Old school.
Put a little
whiskey under the lip.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's the Canadian way. We were whiskey down in America. Bourbon if you're in Tennessee. So yeah, I don't know any, but they were mad, and then he made that joke, and we all kind of looked at each other and like, this guy. And then our pilot was African American, and I remember thinking, man, if this goes down, Trump's going to be all over this.
Oh, no.
Trump is going to be all over this.
The second flight in a row.
Yes.
They probably find a way to link the pilots together.
He's like, you're like, no, man, he did a great job.
Yeah.
Everything landed just fine. We all got here. He did a great job.
Do people clap when the plane landed?
No, which I was glad, because I know that people are saying, like, that's allowed now.
Yeah.
Well, I did. I was also at that point, full disclosure, pretty buzzed, because I was a little nervous, and I was in first class because, surprise, surprise, a lot of people canceled their flight. So there were a lot of free upgrades available. And so I was like, man, I'm going to bougie for a guy who's moved 175 tickets in Toronto, which is not good unless you're doing one show. I'm living large up here. But
speaking, sorry to interrupt you, Dustin, but speaking of, if you're listening to this, you're probably in and around Toronto, and Dustin is at the Comedy Bar Danforth, February 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So link will be below to get tickets for that. Definitely come out. So that he can get first class on the way home, too.
Yeah. No, I think flights out of Toronto are pretty booked right now for whatever reason.
Everyone's like, I can't be here this close.
I don't know. I mean, listen, this is my first time in Toronto, and it just felt like a good time to be an American in Canada right now.
Yeah, you have a lot of power. You got a lot of weight.
Just seemed like the right time.
Yeah.
First off, our hockey teams are getting along real well.
Yeah.
Everything seems good there. We're trying to make you one of our states. The tariffs Also, it's -10. It just seemed like the time to be.
This is the most snow we've gotten. I heard on the news last week, this past weekend, we got more snow than we did all of last year.
Great.
So you picked the perfect time, actually.
It's a great time
right
to
after
be
the Delta
an
flight
American
going
in
down.
Canada right now.
I heard that the passengers on that flight got $30,000. $30,000. I don't want to say I was jealous of somebody who almost died in a plane crash, but
I mean,
that's kind of my dream, like a non-lethal accident. Just pay that out.
It's a lot more than I'm making this weekend. I did think, I was like, $30K.
Wait, you would have been actually able to have another income stream if you.
Well, the funny thing is, I was thinking about it as comedians, if we crashed and I'd be like, I still have to go do the shows. Like if I crashed on a Wednesday, I would not go home. I'd be like, hey, swipe up at Comedy Bar.
Imagine you with the plane wreckage and you got like soot on your face or something. You're like, this weekend.
Hey, come on, check me out. 5 shows.
All of a sudden, Dustin Nickerson would become like a rapper, or like you'd have like a cool posse.
Now
like,
we're talking.
Some, like, some people following you around. Maybe.
College is expensive.
And you have 3 children.
Yeah, and we pay for healthcare where I live, so things are quite expensive. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of, it's your first time in healthcare,
yeah.
and you're in Canada. Like, what are your first impressions of Toronto?
I mean, I've been awake in this city for 4 hours, so give me a minute. Give me a minute. So far, it looks like a city.
Yeah.
I'm all due respect to Toronto. I love you. I'm sure I'm always grateful to be in cities because I can get a good cup of coffee. We all have certain.
That's true. They don't have coffee like this in the country.
Yeah, outside of Toronto.
Yeah, or just in general, like you're stuck in like a country time or.
You walk into like these coffee shops that they're selling a lot of like raspberry mochas. And like that kind of like just like, oh, it's not gonna be good. Or it's like they opened the coffee shop when Friends was popular, and it's got a lot of
weird, like the couches haven't been cleaned since then.
A lot of weird purple couches. And you're like, this isn't gonna be the pretentious, annoyingly douchey cup of coffee that I want. But I can get that in Toronto, which is good.
So that's why you're here.
That's why I'm mostly here. No, I'm here because I want to come to Toronto and tell the jokes that I have to tell.
Do you think we should be part of the same country?
No, absolutely not. First off, I mean, we already have Minnesota.
Yeah, you don't need another one.
It's a bit redundant.
Yeah.
It's cold. You have some nice big cities. Your people are friendly, and you create a lot of creatives. We've already got you. We already exist. I don't know. We don't need all that extra space and land and stuff.
What about you? Don't have any French-speaking parts of your country, though? Would you?
I mean, parts of Louisiana are borderline.
That's true.
Yeah. Thanks for knowing about my country. Jeez, unbelievable. The French came to the States too. They're rooted down there. No, we don't.
There was a war about that too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. A war in the States?
Can you guys believe?
You mean to tell me the United States of America was involved in some conflict? Well, buckle up. It's coming your way.
I know. It is one of those things where now Canadians, I don't know if you've seen like our media and like our like TikToks online now where we're all like, we're buying only Canadian. We're not drinking orange juice anymore. And it is like, I kind of wonder like, guys, like, sure, you can skip orange juice, but like you're responsible for Agent Orange. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I mean,
that's intimidating.
I feel like Canada and US have just been a model of healthy neighbors.
Yeah,
for years.
Speaking of Ned Flanders, we were saying earlier you look like Ned Flanders.
Right.
Flanders, The Simpsons.
We send you some stuff. You send us your funny people. You got oranges. We got Norm. Everybody's benefiting from this right now. You know, like, so I don't know. It's all very silly, and the nature of what Trump does seems to be that just kind of outlandish, just say a thing, and I just trying to kind of ignore it. But I don't know if you guys have any familiarity with just like a former rich kid who's in charge now and has, it
feels like that.
A history of problematic skin coloring. I don't know if that resonates.
You've done a bit of research on our current prime minister.
I don't know if that resonates with you in any way whatsoever. And you're like, all right, well, this is our guy for a while.
Shambles, yeah.
People were arguing whether or not comedians are being censored in Canada.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
You guys are living rent-free in our heads.
I like that you're so obsessed with us, to be honest.
Yeah.
You keep thinking about it.
They are. They really, I'm not. I was thinking about whatever city I'm coming to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have
but
any other Canadian cities on your?
not on this tour. No, not right now. Eventually, but no, there's a lot of like, because that's kind of what Trump does is he just throws out a big topic and then everybody argues about it. He did it yesterday.
I would say he's a great content machine.
Oh, I mean, he's a professional wrestler. He's always been great at promos, you know, and he's just great at getting clicks and views. And honestly, he's great at winning elections.
Yeah.
You know?
He's charismatic enough
He's
to
very,
make that happen.
you could say what you will about him. The man is a winner. The guy. And I honestly, I mean, I'm not a political comedian at all. If you want to know why people elect him, it's because he's a winner. People are drawn to that. People are drawn to confidence and a man who just said, I mean, he's won 2 elections, 3 if you ask him.
Right.
You know? Like, so it's, you know, and he had a #1 show on TV and he had a bestseller and like he made millions and
wait, actually I might put Trump on my vision board now.
Truly. Listen.
Bestseller, #1 show.
You might disagree with the ethics, but you can't disagree with the tactics.
With the outcomes.
Yeah,
he's got the results.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is like I heard some people on Fox News, not that I watch that frequently.
You guys get that up here too?
Well, we can get it on YouTube. We can get most things on. Funny enough though,
it's just Foxes.
We can get just Foxes running around the news, Canadian Fox News.
Arctic Fox News.
All of a sudden, like I don't know what eats a fox, like a
mountain lion.
A mountain lion's coming up behind. We're like, that's the excitement, that's the danger. And then there's a deer water skiing in the background, and that's the Canadian.
There's a cameraman on
Fox
snowshoes.
There was
no news.
Do you want to know
it's
something?
Literally just updates on Foxes.
Do you want to know something funny? We can get Fox News here in Canada, but I could not watch your Prime special here.
Oh, that's funny. Well, if you want to know what Fox News and Arctic Fox News have in common, when you turn on, it's all whites. It's all...
It's a different kind of snowstorm each time, but it's a whiteout either way. That's hilarious. But anyways, sorry, this guy on Fox News was saying that, like, you know, it was a panel of them and they're all saying, well, we agree, like, with the way Trump speaks, like, we take him, like, it was something so stupid, like, we take him one way but not literally or something like that. We take him we take him seriously but not literally. That's what they were saying. And I was like, what? Like, if one of my girlfriends said to me, like, my boyfriend, you can take him seriously but not literally, I'd be like, why am I having a conversation with him then? Yeah,
I mean, I think, like, half the country is like, this is my guy and I love him and he's going to make America great again. And they're absolutely entitled to that opinion. And then, well, I won't even say half. I would say 20 to 30% thinks that. And then 20 to 30%, I can't do the, there's, ignore the percentages.
Yeah. We're not mathematicians over here. It's
Don't
fine.
blame me for tariffs. I don't know what they are. All right, I'm pretty sure they're a Pokemon. I'm not. I believe they evolve in Terrifions. I don't know what they are. And honestly, no one in America knew what they were very recently, and now everyone's an expert on them. They were an expert on the fires during the LA thing. They're experts on plane crashes.
Crazy, your education system in America is just really bumping out a whole bunch of experts.
A lot of experts. A lot of them didn't go to college. And the ones that did go to college majored in pottery, and they're also experts in this. It's hard to know what is truth, not to get all biblical on you. But where were we at before that? A lot of the country loves him, and a lot of the country hates him. And then a good chunk of the country also just deals with him the way that you deal with your grandpa at Thanksgiving, which we don't have the same date for.
Yeah.
But you're just like, he's just like that.
Yeah.
He's just let him say the things that he says.
He's almost 80. Like, he's not going to change.
Honestly, what do you want out of him? What do you expect out of an 80-year-old? Nothing. Not a progressive idea. Not anything any of us wanted. Our last 3 presidents have been older than microwaves. They're all, Biden and Trump were all invented before microwaves.
Dustin, I'm dead. That's true.
Our last 3 presidents, Trump and Biden, each of them are younger than Bill Clinton, who was the president in the early 90s. We have an old man thing that we're really...
You guys got an old man
America has seen old men. We're in an old man daddy phase right now.
Everyone goes through a phase where you start dating people older than you, and you're
I
like,
guess
maybe this will
so.
be good.
We want
They got
someone
money, maybe.
who reminds us of the founding fathers because they knew them.
Yeah.
They
If you
want
can
to.
dig up one of them.
Yeah, yeah. They're like, what would Jefferson think? And they're like, well,
Wish I could have.
the time I spend with him, when he invented the swivel chair, he would have thought this.
Way back then.
Little fact about Jefferson: invented the swivel chair.
I feel like we're like slightly better in Canada. I would say maybe the politicians are just like the same amount of out of touch, but they're at least younger about it, Like you'd be like, I could like realistically see this person in a bar, maybe.
I mean, Trudeau is kind of, I don't know if you know, we have a guy named Gavin Newsom, who's the governor of California. And then you're just like, man, you seem real slimy at times, but you are easy on the eyes.
Yes, exactly.
God, great hair. You guys,
We've
like
gone,
you just kind of, because I don't know anything, but there's a decent chance that Newsom will be a president in my lifetime, and it will be because he looks like a prom king.
Yeah,
and that will be, which is a tale as old as time.
Right. I mean, if you're
like,
sexy, then it's easier.
gosh.
Your life's easier. Breaking news.
Yeah.
Life's easier.
Yeah,
if
how do
you're
you
cute.
think Trump got elected?
But do you want to know what's funny is so Justin Trudeau's main rival, his name's Pierre. This is the most Canadian story you've ever heard.
Yeah.
But Pierre actually lost his glasses recently because we've got an election coming up, and so he's like, I got to be sexier. So it does. Like from
Glasses
every
are
side.
unsexy?
Dustin has glasses and he's so upset.
Well, my DMs seem to differ. I got someone looking for a brother.
For one of your brothers, because they find you attractive.
Wasn't it nice though that she's
sweet.
not trying to be a homewrecker?
Yeah.
She's like,
right.
Do you have a brother?
Right.
Yeah.
I would love to come to Thanksgiving, but as like the wife, girlfriend of your brother. Like I don't know. Like, she wants to be around.
I want
the
to
family.
ruin. She's also a fan of my wife, it seems. I'm not trying to ruin your whole situation, but it does feel nice.
That's one nice thing. I also feel like not to insult you, because we're trying to hype it up, but I do feel like the bar for like sexy comedian is like kind of like sexy substitute teacher. Like you don't have to be really hot, but it's just like, the pool of which you're
I love
drawing
that you said
from.
Substitute. I would just say teacher. In general.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about Canada, but the States, we do have a long history of students hooking up with teachers, unfortunately. So
Speaking of Bill Clinton.
Yeah. Monica Lewinsky, anyone? Did that story make it up here?
Yeah, we did. We heard about it
in the 90s.
Yeah.
So I think you're right, but I mean, you can speak to this. I do think that I have an unbelievably attractive wife. She's a 10 out of 10. I'm such a big fan. No notes. But people forget, like, it's a lot of people on the internet will say there was a big viral tweet today that said, like, there's a picture of Shay next to a girl. They're like, it's not that you're ugly, it's that you're poor. And a lot of the comments are saying of like, hey man, I know a lot of men think that women think exactly like you, but a personality to a woman can go a long way.
It's true.
Being funny.
It's like,
pretty nice.
It's kind of like having $1 million.
Yes.
$1 million personality.
Yes. Yeah. I have personality nepotism.
Is that how you won your wife over?
I was born charming. Clearly. I'm sorry. I haven't
got it or you don't.
You got it or you don't.
Yeah.
All right. A little charm can go a long way, and not like I'm not hard to look at. Which is really the goal as a male for me.
Not be repulsive.
Really, I would just say for me, I'm not trying to be attractive. I'm trying not to be like, oh no, I don't want anyone to have to look away. No.
You should run for president, Dustin.
Yes.
That's what we're saying. You could make it happen. Okay, I have a game I want to play with you.
Okay, great.
I'm calling it the annexation game.
Annexation.
And with Trump threatening to take over Canada, as we've been talking about, I want to test your loyalty to your country. So I'm going to give you a couple of people, scenarios, things, and say, like, should that be something that you guys keep in the States, or like, could we claim that as Canada? Okay.
Okay. So things that we can share with you or not, or like we have to keep as our own.
Exactly. Okay. Do you think, what about Taylor Swift? Do you think Canada could claim her? Do you guys think she's too American?
Man, I mean, I feel like at this point, Taylor Swift is the world's.
She's not even America's anymore.
Yeah. I think Taylor Swift is like chocolate. You're like, I mean, where did it come from? What does it matter? We all celebrate.
What is it made of? No one knows.
No one knows. No one knows. I think Taylor Swift is a global phenomenon at this point. And so we are, we're happy to share her. I mean, there are again, I think like half of our country would be like, take her.
True.
You know, Taylor Swift is the great example of like, no one is liked by everybody.
Yeah.
Because she's like the #1 selling artist of all time. And half of the world is like, she's terrible.
Right.
And other people are like, she actually might be Jesus.
Yes. Yeah. There's no one that's like, I'm kind of okay with her. Yeah.
Also a good example of someone not liked by everybody. Jesus Christ.
Yes. Absolutely. Very much a hated man. History will document that very well.
Yeah. One of the big things about him actually is he's not liked by
He only had about 12 people who really liked him, to be honest.
And actually it was 11. Actually, it was 11, and 9 of them fled. Actually, so
really, he had one homie.
He had 3. He had 3. It wasn't a good showing there at the end. But now he's got a lot.
Yeah. He's done quite well.
He's like Van Gogh. Like after he died, he really got a lot more popular.
Yeah, and he had to get more than a year sacrificed, unfortunately.
No, he had his whole body crucified for the sins of the world. Anyways, guys, open your Bibles to Romans 1.
This is now Bible study with Dustin. Did you ever, because you grew up, you're a Christian, and you grew up in the church.
I did not grow up in the church.
No, okay.
No, I started going to church in high school. Because there was like a skateboard rally in the 90s.
That's how they get you.
Oh, yeah. And a kid like went through a ring of fire on a skateboard and then talked about how that's what God does for you. I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You also have, Dustin, I think you have like a bit of like a youth group leader energy.
Oh, I mean, that's never in question.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 times in this podcast have already led us into a Bible study.
Right.
I'm waiting to pray the prayer with you. So when you're ready.
We will close it out.
Everybody close your eyes.
Yeah. Amen. Praying to Trump. No. Uh-oh. I grew up in a Christian household, and I grew up like always going to Bible study.
They got Christians in Canada?
Yeah, we made it this far.
Yeah.
We made it this far.
To the big city of Toronto, huh?
Yeah. Made it all the way.
I bet there's a lot of people in Alberta who don't think there's a single Christian in Toronto.
Probably. I hope this podcast finds you and you're shocked. But we would play the game
where they listen to this podcast?
Maybe if you're here.
In the Alabama of Canada?
I don't think we have a lot of fans out there.
First off, you're a woman.
Yeah.
Second off,
I can't speak.
You live in a city. Where's your head covering? Where's your? I don't think they're listening. I don't think that this is here.
Dustin is giving me his hat. No, we're done. I've got another one for the annexation game.
Here we go.
Thanksgiving. You guys do November. We do October.
Right.
I've got some thoughts on this. So I think November is good just because Black Friday, right after Thanksgiving. So you talk to all your family, figure out what they got, order it Black Friday, you're good. Ours is like usually mid-October.
Okay.
But my problem with that, with the Black Friday thing is like I see all my family then.
Yeah.
But then it's been 6 weeks. Like I don't even know what my mother looks like anymore. And now I have to buy her a Christmas present.
When do you guys do Halloween?
End of
October 31st?
Yeah.
Okay. That one's first off, okay, forgive me for being an ugly American here. What is your Thanksgiving holiday like ours in that it's kind of based loosely on a feast with the natives?
Yeah. Yeah, like it's like the harvest.
Okay.
Yeah. I think so. I don't know. Do you know? Do we have the same history of like it relates to like indigenous culture in Canada?
We don't say indigenous anymore that Trump's back.
Oh, okay. That's not the word that you say.
We keep going back on our terms. It just depends who's in office.
Fair. Yeah. Anyways, you guys can all look up at home what the roots of Canadian things. Yeah. I don't even know if our own prime minister could explain it, to be honest.
I don't mind. I think that November needs a win. I think so. Yeah. November otherwise is a weird kind of like sludge to get to Christmas, and so I like it in November. I don't need anything closer. To me, October is a standalone great month.
Yeah, and
you got that thing to look forward at the end.
Like days are still pretty long. Yeah, weather's good.
I'd
got
like
Halloween.
To keep Thanksgiving is the middle child of the fall winter holidays.
Okay, I support that. Yeah,
we go in our like Christmas one celebration, Halloween. We're a big Halloween family, and then Thanksgiving is kind of the buffer on the way. So and then it's just, I mean, I honestly, health wise, I need it there because otherwise I will start my bad eating in mid-October and go through to the end of the year.
Thanksgiving keeps you accountable to a certain point.
Yeah, no, I mean the season would go too long because once Halloween hits, I'm gonna eat bad till January 1st. So if anything, I can't have it start too earlier. So I would Taylor Swift for everybody. I would like to keep a late
The
November.
American Thanksgiving.
Our Thanksgiving moves too. Is yours a set date?
No, ours also moves. It's usually like the third Sunday, or I think
Sunday.
Yeah.
Interesting. I like it.
But then we have a Monday off after it usually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I do like the Thursday because you get the Thursday and then the Friday and then the
full
weekend.
weekend.
It's a nice one.
Yeah. You guys are all about giving time off.
Yeah,
Really
ours is
supporting your
very
workers.
That's ours is also very football based.
Oh.
And football is more interesting in November than it is October. So
Okay.
we kind of need it a little. We get together and because we have to spend time with our family and we just can't do that without football.
Okay.
So
I think it's kind of like hockey for I didn't grow up in like a big sports home either way, but I think it's like hockey for Canadians, but
I mean, what do you want to talk to your dad?
Yeah, no, we have nothing to say.
No, absolutely not. For how long? I mean, between commercials.
Yeah.
I want to, we need football and then you'll get like one commercial that your dad complains that there's a new Black Little Mermaid, and then you go back to football. Like that's what we can handle at the holidays,
right?
Yeah,
you're oscillating between like you're like, okay, thank you, okay, the game's back on, thank God.
Woke Disney, and then you're like, and I need you to complain about the Seahawks offensive line. That's what I actually can handle. So,
okay, what about healthcare system? Like, would America take Canada's? Would we have to inherit yours?
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about yours?
I would say it's better than yours. I mean, I've never had to
for like, the dollar value is correct.
Yeah. I would say it's not great. Like we've definitely had a lot of challenges with like we don't have enough family doctors for everybody, and people do like wait in hospital lines, but you can still get treatment, and people don't go broke having to access that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to defend the American healthcare system. There's not an American alive that likes our healthcare system, either the cost or what they provide, and we can't agree on anything. So, but I do sometimes wonder if Americans have kind of a utopian view, like liberal Americans have a utopian view of the Canadian healthcare system.
I would say that's definitely not accurate. Like that it's like this perfect. I think also, I don't know, like we have an interesting system of government that's different from you guys. So our provinces, which are like similar to our states, they're the provinces. You know, okay, I didn't know. A lot of Americans don't know. A lot of Americans don't know. But they're the ones that are in charge of our health. Do you know which one you're in right now?
I am in Ontario.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry.
There you go. Yeah.
Which is confusing because we have some Ontario cities where I'm at. We share a couple of Vancouvers, but I know I'm in Ontario.
Yeah, you're in Ontario.
I'm in the biggest city in Canada. Yeah.
It's Toronto. But yeah, so it's different. I think it's different for people like across the country. Like I know in some of like the smaller provinces that are like out east, like we have one called Prince Edward Island, and it's just an island. And like I can't imagine it's like great there, but I don't know.
So let me just ask you, okay, so you've got a cold that you haven't been able to shake for 4 days.
Yeah.
Like, I got to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
What does that process look like?
So like for that, I would probably go to my family doctor, which like usually you can just pick up the phone and like get into them decently quickly. But a lot of Canadians.
How quick is quick?
Like within the week usually. Okay. Like a couple days, like max, you know. If it's like an emergency where it's like I can't breathe or something like that, then you're probably going to an emergency room.
Okay.
And then some people end up waiting like a day there to get seen. Yeah. I mean, if you couldn't breathe, I think they'd probably bump you up. But like I've seen stories of
there's
like
a triage. They're like, how bad is it?
Yeah.
And you always kind of got to exaggerate it so you can get seen.
Exactly. You get it. You understand it. This is a father of 3 also. I should have mentioned everybody.
You're always like, hey, make him think it's head injury. As head injury. Describe head and neck pain, even if it's not real, because that's going to get you in real quick.
Yeah.
When they say pain level 1 through 10, you say 11 because you want to get seen.
That's right.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Okay, so so that's like, and then what about just like a standard checkup? You make an appointment, they see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, what about dental? How often are you going to the dentist? How do you line that up?
So we don't cover dental through the state. People either get dental insurance from their employer or like from if they're a student, college or university. Okay. But we do have something where
you don't pay for it. Your employer takes it out of your check though.
Well, it's like out of your benefit, like
Yeah,
it seems similar to what you would have like in America. But then I think if you're,
have dental.
well, I guess it's it's some private companies you would have.
Some you do,
right? Yeah. So that's way like otherwise people are paying for it out of pocket. But I think there's a couple of exceptions where like if you're under a certain age, like if you're a kid, it's covered by the government. If you're older, it's covered by the government.
Would you say the biggest flaws of your system, though, that you're actually unhappy about?
I like that we're genuinely getting into this now.
No, I want to know before I want to give an the actual flaws of your system are that it can be a bit just there's a lot of red tape. It can take a long time.
Yeah, I would say that's probably flaw.
If that is the actual not the quality, you're not worried about the quality of care.
No.
Like if you need like a triple bypass surgery or like brain, you feel pretty good about the quality of doctors that you're getting here. Then it's 100% trade your system because we have those same problems and we pay for them.
Yeah. Are you concerned about the quality of care?
No. America has great doctors.
Okay.
We're just paying for them.
Right.
You know? And we also, like a lot of American issues, is that we have merged capitalism with medical care. Which does mean you get some great pioneering inventions and stuff, but you also get a lot of like, why are you pushing this one on me? Anytime you see a commercial for a medicine, you're like, wait a minute.
How do you guys have ad money?
Why am I supposed to ask my doctor about this? You're supposed to tell me what I need, right? But then again, money's very motivating for people. So I don't know.
And you can get, that's like one thing people were like really upset about. Like if we did become the same country, or even if there was like, I think for like certain people, like comedians, like if I could just go freely work in the States, like that would be amazing in this industry. But like if you think of like healthcare, if people could get paid more to go work there, then like what's the incentive for people to stay and work in Canada?
Totally,
right?
Yeah. And that being said, we do have systems like, for now, Medicare, that there are certain demographics that do have healthcare provided, or like where I live in California, like Medi-Cal, like if you don't reach a certain financial number, like the state can provide you healthcare. So there are some systems in place, but if it's the same level of care, which who am I to say whether it is? Yeah, we're taking your system.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take the Canadian system.
That's not what's going to happen. You're going to start paying for your health care.
Well, and I was thinking about that too, and I was like, that would be awful for a woman who struggles with admin, because you know how many pieces of paperwork I would have to fill out to like become part of your country.
Yeah.
Devastating. I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't make it. I'd become my own population of one because...
You're like, actually, it's easier to just move to a different country.
Yeah, than it's to admin. Okay, what about Florida man? Could Canada get in on the Florida man?
You don't want any piece of that.
No, okay, you guys can keep that.
Let us have that. You don't want any piece of that.
What about...
You got your own stuff. You got your own weirdos. Yeah. Let us have our cool weirdos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool weirdo. You want to claim them.
There are 3 states in the United States that are to me, I consider them the 3. There's 50 states. There's 3 that are loud and they're their own thing. And it's California, Texas, and Florida. Okay. Those are their own, and New York. Sorry, there's 4. They're their own personalities. There's nothing like them. There's nothing like Florida. There's nothing like New York. There's nothing like Texas. There's nothing like California. You don't want any piece of Florida. Let us have Florida. Florida is our punchline already.
Right, yeah.
Just let us have that. You probably have yours.
Yeah, we have like...
Where do you guys make fun of the most?
We definitely make fun of like French Canada a lot.
Sure.
We make fun of Quebec. We make fun of like, if you're around Toronto, there's a lot of like weird suburbs. Like we make fun of Oshawa. It's a place where if you want to use that tonight, you can. Oshawa, that's a local reference. A place people don't like.
Is Oshawa legal here? Sorry, it sounds like 5 shows. Toronto coming.
Come out. What about?
It does sound like a drug.
It does.
Yeah. Like I'm on my Oshawa retreat. I'm going into the darkness. I
went last year with my brother. The things we saw in Oshawa, you guys.
Man, I came out a different person.
Back there, yeah. What about deep fried everything?
I mean, do you want it? I mean,
genuinely, probably not. But
deep fried, it's one of those things that. You remember, did you guys ever have like the movie pass, the like thing where you could like get unlimited movies that existed in the States for like 6 months?
Like rent movies or
no, there was a thing called, I don't remember what it was called. We had this movie pass where like you could, if you paid like $20 a month, you could get unlimited movies in theater.
Oh,
it went away.
Okay.
It's a thing you think you want.
Right.
And then you're like, I actually need less of this in my life. I don't need to go to this many movies, and I don't need this much fried food. Fried food is, I mean, it's magic. You just put some. It's like you just put anything on it, and suddenly it's like cheese.
Right.
You're like, is this
better?
Are these chips good? No, cheese is good. Cheese is fantastic. So, yeah, I don't. For your sake, I'm not gonna. You're already putting your things on. What's your thing on the fries or whatever?
Oh, like poutine.
Yeah, you already got that.
I think we get to keep poutine, or would you guys take poutine?
No, I mean, I think that you guys can keep that one. We got enough stuff clogging our arteries down there.
Have you tried poutine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was fine.
It was fine. Yeah. What's your favorite? Like, do you have a guilty pleasure
food?
Treat? Yeah.
Oh. This is gonna be like a boring answer, but I've had like a lot of shameful, like midnight to 2 a.m. huge bowls of Honey Bunches of Oats.
Oh.
I have like a late night cereal
Why is
situation.
that weirdly Ned Flanders though?
Yeah,
it's
like
that's
a secret. It's a secret. I got I'll knock out a couple giant bowls of granola, and it's like it's a shameful amount of cereal to eat, and it's because I was raised poor, and that was fancy in our house. That was like a high end.
Did you guys make your own granola? Like, were you that West Coast?
No.
Okay.
You got time and money if you're making your own granola. What are you doing? Churning your own butter? Granola takes a long time to make. So that's I know that's like a lame, cheat meal or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like an issue. Like if I open a box of Honey Bunches of Oats, the box will go empty. I'll eat a box of Honey Bunches of Oats.
Okay.
From the hours of 12 to 2 a.m. when I'm feeling sad around the holidays.
Your kids wake up and they're like, "Where's breakfast?"
Dad cried last night. He was happy at the start, and in the middle, it just got progressively sadder. But you're not going to close the box.
Nope.
I'm an American. You start
where you finish.
We start when we finish. Yeah, all right. I'm actually sent here to conquer Canada this weekend. I don't know if you know that, but they actually sent me. They're like, he'll do it. He looks strong enough.
I mean, it is funny because you do have the mustache, the glasses, the hat. Like, it kind of looks like you would be in disguise.
I've been people have thought I'm Canadian a decent amount.
Oh, really?
Yeah, okay. I'm pretty pale. I have a generally pleasant a demeanor, and I'm very non-threatening.
Is that exciting to you to be mistaken for Canadian, or is it insulting?
It's someone telling you think you're Canadian. It's like when they call you the wrong name, you're like, whatever. Okay. I don't know. I can't feel any. You still feel stuff?
Yeah, you're right. It's 2025. Why are we still feeling anymore?
I don't. I mean, I suppose it depends in which way they hit you with it. You're like, oh, I thought you were Canadian. You're like, go back to Canada.
Yeah,
which
right.
We don't really say that, but there's a lot of go back to Mexico.
Yeah.
Don't say
It might start go back with what's happening now. Maybe they'll start to go back to
Canada.
Well,
you're about to be our country. So
it's the same spot. Go back home. You're like, I am?
I think if we did take over your country, I think a decent amount of Americans would come up here and be like, what were we doing? It's so cold up here.
Yeah. We've got a couple cool cities, but there's not a lot.
And I don't mean that as a shot. I mean, you're lovely. I think they would just get up here and people are like, we didn't need all this.
You spent all that money just for
We have so much land already that we're not going to.
Yeah.
We got Sioux Falls. No one's going to Sioux Falls. No one's going to these places here. We have 2 Dakotas. Nobody needs 2 Dakotas. What are we doing with 2 Dakotas down there? We didn't need to add Saskatchewan to our 2 Dakota list,
right.
You got it.
Yeah. You guys have got it. Be grateful for what you have.
We've already have Alaska, which is a bit much that we have that up there.
It is.
How is that not yours? How'd you guys?
I don't know.
How'd you guys miss Alaska?
We fumbled the.
You guys fumbled Alaska. You guys, how'd you miss Alaska?
If you were Prime Minister Dustin and you had to take over Canada, what's the first thing you think you're doing here?
Oh, if I was in charge of Canada.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I'd make you American, so you could be great again.
God bless.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the first thing you would have to do is have the Tim Hortons Duncan war. That would probably be the first thing to go. And then you'd go and you're like, oh, they're the exact same. Never mind. This was Canada is funny because anytime I come here, it feels very American they're similar. I shouldn't say it's American. It's just very similar, but it's just a little off. You know what it's mean?
That's how I feel whenever I go to America.
Yeah,
I feel like as soon as I enter, like I'm like, this feels normal, but there's like a
to me, Canada feels like AI America. Where you're just like, it's just, and it probably feels reversed. Where you're like, this is just like a little off. It's like when you look at like some AI generated thing and there's like 7 fingers.
Why is there a third arm poking out of that baby?
That's how you're like, no, I'm comfortable here, but it's like a little off.
Is it because we're a little, you think we're a little inbred or something?
No, I don't think that's just a little different. You know, you got to adjust your number system. You got to.
That's true. That's true.
You know,
when you were posting getting off the plane last night and you're like, it's 1 degree right now. I was like, I don't know. What temperature that is. Could not guess. Yeah,
exactly. And you just, well, I mean, clearly our system is the one that makes the most sense. Who needs 10s? Those aren't an easy number.
Water boils at 32. What a nice even number to remember.
I don't, water freezes at 32, I think.
Okay. Yeah. See, water freezes at 0 for us.
Yeah.
Boils at 100.
Stupid system. 0. How, zeros and hundreds. Why would you use that? You know what 100 degrees is for us? Just a random bad temperature.
It's too hot.
Nothing special happens at 100. I actually don't know which temperature water boils because it doesn't matter to me. But I do know freezing. That's 32.
Yeah, that's important to know driving around and that kind of thing.
No, you see 32 and you go, uh-oh, the roads are going to be icy. That's what you do.
Okay, so it's like the panic response there. Yeah. We have like the same thing, except it's always below 0, which is our freezing.
America and Canada, we're very similar. We're very similar people. We integrate into our cultures very nicely. There's no reason that we need to be one. Just be neighbors. Just be friendly. You can get along with your neighbor and not be like, dude, I need to go bang that guy's wife.
True.
You know, we don't need to be the same family. Just be existing neighbors.
Alongside, to go back to our Simpsons analogy, I feel like America would
we're definitely the Simpsons. Only we're also the religious one.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We're the trashy religious one. We're a weird mix of the Simpsons and but very charming.
Very charming.
Americans,
very charming.
Some of us, we get some charm.
Yeah. Dustin, speaking of being charming, I know you have ADD. You're also a father, and both of your daughters have
2 of the 3.
2 of the 3.
Yeah.
That's you got some strong ADHD genes.
Yeah. That, Melissa. Yeah. My wife. You know.
Beat you. So I'm not diagnosed ADHD, but like something's definitely wrong. My dad definitely has ADHD.
Yeah.
And I've learned a lot of great lessons from my ADHD dad. And I've heard you say before that like you feel like you vibe with like one of your ADHD daughters.
Well, I mean, I think that first off, I mean, you're younger than me, but we are of a generation. Like when I was a kid, to get diagnosed with ADHD, you had to be so far on the spectrum.
Right. Like you'd be like chewing the carpet.
You had to not be able to sit in your chair and then we would just throw Ritalin at you. Literally, we wouldn't even administer it. We would just throw it. And you'd love you'd love it. You're like, God, it's a game.
Like catch it in their mouth.
Yeah, exactly. And it had to be so, but if you were like me, where you could learn to adapt and function in that setting, albeit it was very hard for you. You would never, nothing was wrong with you. You know, you just, we would be told things like, my Uncle Butch, I grew up with my dad and my Uncle Butch in my house. And my uncle would say to me, like, I would lose things all the time. He'd be like, first off, he'd always call me a klutz, like you'd spilling stuff, you're knocking stuff over. Yeah. And then he'd be like, he'd always like, you'd lose your head if that wasn't, attached onto you. And that's how that was a diagnosis for ADHD in the 90s.
Right. It's like, you're kind of clumsy and you're
lose
stuff things a lot.
And you lie. You're constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, I've lost my passport in this country before.
No.
I've lost 3 passports. I have a whole bit about it. Like I lose stuff
all the time.
This is why when people talk like people eat like ADHD. That's not, you think we like this? This is such an I lost my AirPods in the airport yesterday. I found them. It's just all the time.
Constantly.
I have a tattoo wedding ring because I kept losing my wedding ring.
Really?
I'm like, I can't lose this.
Right.
It's and
forever.
I got these girls in my DMs asking about my brother.
You'll be like, check the tattoo. It's there. That's funny because my dad is also ADHD.
Yeah.
And every family holiday we went on, he was always leaving a swimsuit in the bathroom.
Always,
Because
yes.
it's drying. And so one thing he taught me was like, never buy expensive stuff because
Right.
you're gonna lose it. And all the time, doesn't matter where I'm going. Sometimes I just like get my boyfriend to hold things and he'll just like take, because he knows that if it's up to me, it's not happening.
My wife is like, being married to someone with ADHD is essentially like being your partner's fanny pack.
True. Yeah.
Where you're just like, I got your keys, I got your wallet. She knows where the stuff is all the time, which is great. Bad news when I'm in a foreign country for now. Not by the end of this trip. You guys don't know. I'm here doing a little undercover work.
Dustin Nickerson of the CIA.
No. I'm just here to get a couple lumps checked out for free. Do I get free healthcare when I'm here?
No, I don't think you would. I don't think you would. I think you would get a bill. But you wouldn't have to pay like immediately. It would be like afterwards. They'd be like, oh, you're American, you know. Well, I also don't know what would happen if you just like didn't pay it. You know,
right?
Like,
that's a great question.
You know, sometimes you don't want to pay your gym membership anymore, and you just like get a new credit card. And you're like, I didn't need to cancel that. Whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry about that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work. Is it like parking tickets where it just would kind of just, I don't know,
like accumulate? You get back to the board or something. Too. Yeah. You
guys got parking meters up here, right?
Yeah, we do.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah,
you guys got taxes up here, right?
Yeah, we got taxes. We only have parking meters certain months of the year because sometimes they're covered by the snow.
Oh,
like
is that true?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you still don't have to pay. It's like you just have to like dig a little to like find.
Oh, they make you do that?
Yeah, it's like a fun little activity.
You know. Yeah, it's I just feel like if it's covered up with snow, you're like, God said it's on the house today. Who are you? Who are you to argue with the Lord?
He put the snow here for a reason. He put the
snow here to give us free parking.
Yeah.
To go to this thing that we're going to. I don't know what you're doing,
Pastor Nickerson's back here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, who is this that controls the wind and the seas?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's another Bible reference.
We need to get you a couple more buttons on the collar and like a white.
I mean, I'm not Catholic.
You're not Catholic.
No,
okay.
I'm a Christian.
You're Christian.
I don't think are these jokes funny for anybody or just us?
They're good. Okay. They're good. But listen, I want to ask you, as somebody who's been an adult, a very successful adult with ADHD, we have a lot of neurodivergent hotties that listen to this. What advice would you give them?
First off, I don't have a brother. Sorry. No, what advice would I give them to life?
Yeah. Or what would you tell your daughters of like when you look at them and you're like, damn it, like I wanna, but like I just did the same thing last week. Okay, sorry.
We are nicer to our children in America. America traditionally good to our children.
So you put them in schools?
Yeah. Listen.
Sorry. We do the same thing here, to be clear, but it was just like a different. Our past wasn't so great with schools for certain.
There's no good countries, anyways, FYI. Just so you know,
they're all bad.
There's no. Anytime there's an opportunity for power, some bad people are going to get in charge. Yeah. There are worse countries, but we're not here to name names. But anyways, Zelensky's a dictator is what I learned yesterday. Sorry.
And you know to say his full name too. I couldn't get it out.
No?
Zelensky? Zelensky. There we go.
Yeah.
Got it.
Former comedian.
Yeah. I don't think comedians should be in charge of countries.
Listen, say what you will about Trump. That man is hilarious.
Yeah, you're right. He's doing
because he did say about Zelensky, he said he called him a moderately successful comedian before he badmouthed his politics in his country. Trump is this is why this man wins. He's very funny. Like, it's like Chappelle said, like we elected an internet troll.
Yeah.
He is objectively, now, to some, also terrifying. But he is funny. And saying before you call someone a dictator and like that he started the war, which are things Trump said about Ukraine yesterday. Before he said any of that, he called him a moderately successful comedian, which weren't comics. So, Zelensky's like, this son of a...
Yeah. That's policies if you want, but like...
You're like, he got me.
Like, that would be crazy. Imagine if you came all the way here. You were generous enough to sit down and I introduced you as like moderately successful comedian is here today.
Yeah. Oh. But anyways, where were we at?
What advice would you give ADHD people?
That was the most ADHD thing. You asked me an ADHD question, and then 3 minutes later, I'm talking about Ukraine. Yeah,
We're all
exactly.
about a side quest.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
mean,
we're into it.
I've never had an answer to a question in my life.
No, and
Nor,
that's why you would actually be a great
yeah,
politician.
truly. Yeah. Everyone's like, what is he talking about?
But yeah.
And then you got to have a signature dance move. That's our guy's thing right now. That's what Trudeau is lacking. He's a
He doesn't have
signature
a
dance move.
That's probably why he can't run in the next election, actually.
You guys have elections up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they free and fair?
Are you trying to avoid my question of ADHD again? No.
You got them for now. Trump also called himself king yesterday, so you guys got a new king coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought the whole difference between Canada and America was that you guys didn't want a king.
Well, it depends who you ask these days. Yeah, no, we don't want one, I think. I mean, our whole thing was anti-king.
Right, yeah.
That's been our thing from the start.
Exactly. From the Boston Tea Party to modern day, it's always been about.
I don't know anything. I have no idea what's happening. We have 3 branches of government. I couldn't name them. It's not true. But I know I'm in Ontario right now. That's all I know. ADHD advice is where we're going. Yeah, I mean, for school, it's very hard. But our schools have never been in the States. Schools have never been more accommodating to neurodivergence than they in my life. Certainly more than what we had. So there are systems now of like you can retake tests. You can my wife is a great ambassador for our children to the kids and a great advocate, I should say.
That's great. She can remember when the meetings are.
She'll go to the teachers and be like, they have these things, and then they can take their tests in the library and stuff like that, and they can do corrections. So you have to be an advocate for yourself. And then really the key, if you can, is just into adult life is just finding that thing that you can hyper focus on, which is the thing with ADHD, which is what I've done. And I've been focused on like 2 things my entire life. And one is comedy in this reverse order, and the other is my wife. Like these are my hyper fixations of like, these are the things I'm thinking and worrying and trying to do a good
constantly
job.
You're always
If you can find those 2 things, because that is the advantage of ADHD, is if you are really passionate about that thing, like you can work harder at it than anybody. You'll just crash eventually.
Yeah. Well, but also you can get 10 hours of work done in 2 hours.
100%.
So just let it rip.
Or 0 hours of work done in 10 hours.
10 hours.
Whatever you need.
Yeah.
It's actually not whatever you need. It's whatever my brain can do right now. It's
deciding it's fixing. Yeah. I think that's great. You've at least found 2 things. That's like, being devoted to your wife and
career
your
and family,
pretty good.
Yeah.
And then could be drugs or.
I hope my king approves. I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking about Jesus Christ.
Jesus, yes. Yeah, you're right.
King of kings.
That's a bold claim for him to be making king statements.
I know. Really... We also have, we have LeBron James calls himself king. I think king gets thrown around real. I think maybe
you should you should call yourself king on stage.
King Dustin.
King Dustin.
Not great. It's not great. There's been some Justins.
What's your middle name?
Taylor. No, it's not great.
It's a little rough.
Yeah, King Nickerson. My last name sounds like a racial slur, so that's not best. Your PM might say it in private, but I don't know. There have been some Justine empires. There's been some Justin good kings, but Dustin just doesn't hit. My sister always used to say it was like she used to make fun of me, and she's saying that my mom named me after a chore.
Dustin,
like Dustin.
Is her name like
Jessica?
Oh,
yeah. And so you're like, I mean, that's like such a good childhood insult. Like, my name is a verb, like a chore. That is brutal. So it's not a great name.
Why do you think your parents named you Dustin?
I don't know. They didn't. They didn't make it 5 years of my life together. They never really got along. Okay. So I think they just agreed on something.
Yeah.
And who knows?
They were like, well,
I don't really want to talk about my parents.
Yeah, sure. We have to get into that. I do want to know your perspectives as a parent in the digital modern age. Like, are your kids like into technology? Like, how do you manage that with them?
Teenagers. Yeah. It's like everybody with young kids who's like, my kids aren't gonna have a phone or be on the internet or get Instagram. You're like, that's nice that you say that right now. That's great. Now go send them to school freshman year without a smartphone and just watch them get made fun of. And you're like, no, I'll teach you some character. No, just do it. Just totally forget what high school was like. The whole those middle school and early high school years, you're just trying to be invisible. You're just trying to exist because you're so uncomfortable and everything's so awkward, and you're just like taking away their social currency. It's like to not allow your kid to be online is such a good principle, but then you get there, and it's almost like not giving your kids the language that they speak.
Right.
It's like a currency. It really is. It's
and
like
also like a social space for us,
100%.
too. Like it's like being like, oh, you can never go hang out with your friends. Like what?
Yeah.
Like how am I supposed to connect? Like
no, I think that there are pros and cons to like the digital era or whatever, and these kids online. Some of it is like, I will tell you, your kids stay home more than they used to because they're very connected to each other. Like my kid, like I have a cool high school senior who's like a jock, and I think he's going to be a college athlete.
Really? Wait, were you cool in high school?
Okay. You know, I have an interesting high school story, but my son is, and he still spends some Friday nights like at home. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to get on the games with the boys, you know, and they like game together for hours. And you're like, I mean, I do prefer this over you being at a party.
Yeah.
You know, like I do.
You know where he is.
I know where he is. Yeah. So they feel way more connected to each other. Like it was a lot of work to hang out with a friend when I was a kid. You would call their house, may or may not answer. They may or may not be home. You would call your 4 friends who you had their numbers memorized. And then if you were really desperate, you would go knock on their door.
Right.
It was a whole to-do. So they are connected to a lot of people, and it's not not a bad thing.
You're actually reminding me of like a childhood memory of just like knocking on the neighbor's door. Their dad answers, which like that's the worst. Like the mom, you're like, maybe she'll give me a snack or something. Yeah, exactly. And then they're like, no. And then you're like, okay.
Yeah.
That was the first walk of shame I ever did, actually. It was back from the door.
You just instinctually took your shoes off.
Yeah.
Your little Velcro shoes.
Like, damn it. Yeah. I'm trying to get a cab in my suburb.
My old friend. Yeah. Or I remember being terrified and calling a girl's house. The dad answers the phone. Click.
Yeah, right. You're like, oh no.
Yeah. That was a huge deal. Again, you're significantly younger than me, but when you had like a girl that had their own line at home, that would be a big deal. When there wasn't a shared, having your own phone number, not cell phone, but your own line at home, private, it's huge deal.
I didn't know people could even have that. Like you could just get one to your phone.
Yeah. That was like sending nudes back in the day.
That's cool.
That was that kind of privacy. You know, you're like, all right.
That's good. Yeah, no, it's like, no one knows who, you don't got to go through any obstacles to.
We should bring back that if you are going to we should go back to a society where if you're going to send a nude, you should have to go to your local drugstore and get that published. What was it called when you got your photos?
Oh, like,
developed.
Yeah.
You should have to go just at least for dudes. Just to realize like how perverted you are to do that.
Yeah, like the lady has to pull it out of the machine and then put it in the envelope and hand it to you.
You should have to get a camera.
Yeah.
And
a disposable camera.
Drop that thing off. And you should have to make eye contact with that weirdo that got it and saw your photos, just so you have to do an extra beat. Go, does she want to see this?
Yeah.
Does she?
Yeah.
Because she didn't.
Yeah.
She didn't seem thrilled about. You know,
I feel like that'd be like I see the vision of like we need another layer.
There should be an extra step.
Yeah,
you know,
I like that. But I also think
like crossing the border, just an extra nexus. There now, if you have a good track record and you do arrive can before,
right?
You could have an expedited line. Like if this is a receiver who knows you
make good quality products.
First time sending that to a user who didn't ask for it. There should be some steps.
But then I'm just thinking about, like, as a woman receiving that, like, if a man handed me a printed out copy of his nude, like, just slid it across the table on a date, that would be the freakiest moment ever.
Yeah.
Like, because especially a lot of people are like cropping their head out.
What if it was with flowers?
If the flowers were handed with the photo? You know, I
What
feel
if
like
it
you
was-
could tuck it in there and you wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
You know, like it'd be like, open this when you get home, baby. Like,
What if it was a holiday? What if it was your birthday? What if?
if it was from like somebody I was dating, yeah,
That's what I'm
that'd be
saying.
fine.
That's
yeah.
The point is, it's you can't lead with that.
If there's just some guy on the subway handing them out,
No,
like,
I mean you can get that anyway. I think I don't think it's
that probably
photos
actually
either.
already
I think
exists.
that's a real life 3D
Mixtape,
experience.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Oh gosh, I'll take that over your mixtape.
Yeah.
You want a mixtape? Honestly, just
Just
flash
digest,
me.
yeah.
Honestly, I would rather see that.
Have mercy on me, please.
Please,
Just
for the love
really
of God. At least that'll be fast. Yeah.
Dustin, you're a father of 3.
Mm-hmm.
What is the craziest experience you've ever had as a dad? You're the first dad we've had on the podcast.
Oh, really?
so we
And
need
the
to know.
first American.
And the first American dad. Actually, that's what we're
Yeah.
gonna call this podcast.
American dad. That'll get some clicks.
Yeah.
The craziest, I don't even know where to start. It's like, it's like asking a taxi driver for like any, or like Uber driver if you've ever driven a drunk around. Like I got a lot of,
Definitely.
yeah. I mean, what we're in right now is we have teens and older, and it's stunning how mean they are. You just try and like they talk about. There's like tips for parenting. They're like, be breezy. They talk about like keep it light with them and stuff.
Okay.
And you're just like, man, like you just like we went out to like dinner the other night, which we hate eating out as me and my wife do.
Okay.
We went out to dinner the other night and it's just like they're complaining about how long it takes. They're complaining about how late it was. And you're like, you're getting a free dinner. Like the audacity. I can't. The first time that your kid like cusses you out in front of your mom, you're like, what is happening?
You're getting bullied by your own. Do you think like are they
Oh.
funny? Do they take on your comedic flair with insults? Or?
I mean, there's no child could be as funny as me. None of them. I'm sorry. No, they are funny. They're funny in their own right, but it is like there's just it's the whole process of parenting. Right. There's an old quote, Oscar Wilde quote. When you're a kid, you love your parents. And then you hate your parents. And then sometimes eventually you forgive them. So the natural progression of family is that your kids do kind of resent you for a while, and that they need that so they can go out and be independent. Because if things are too good for them at home, they'll stay. But you realize, and not that I'm against them staying, but you know what I mean. You're like,
Eventually you gotta like
18,
move on.
fine,
Yeah.
19, all right, 20. You're like, you're a loser. Get out of my
Yeah.
house. Get out of my house. I wanted a child, not another full adult man in my home.
Which also your dad lives with you, doesn't he?
He did for a while, but
Okay.
we evicted him.
Okay.
And that was different. That was, there was some caretaking stuff going on, and it was mutually beneficial there for a while, but we literally grew too big.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't have 3 males and 3 women in one bathroom, and it just wasn't.
That's a lot.
Yeah, we're like,
It's like giving like frat house kind of
Yeah.
like yeah.
But there's an old man for some reason too.
Yeah, which I don't know. A lot of frat houses, there seems to be one guy that's
Is
like,
there?
this was my spot.
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
bro, you graduated like 25 years ago. You know, like
You're like, did you start this frat?
yeah, the founding father of the frat.
Are you Mr. Alpha? Is that yeah? Yeah, it's but it is a tough process of just like it's very emotional. Parenting is very like everything that people tell you about parenting is true. Like it's hard and you get angry and it's adversarial at times and it's beautiful and it's like sentimental and it helps you appreciate the passing of time and maybe don't do it. Like it's all true. Everything that everyone has said to you about parenting is at least elements of it. Like you couldn't believe how sad you are, how angry you are, how proud you are, how sentimental you are. Like that's the great benefit of it. Like having children when you're involved in their lives, at least, is such a full human experience. So, and also, yeah, you literally clean up poop for the first few years and you're tired and you're just, it's great. It's great. It's hard. It's all of the above.
So would you as someone who doesn't have children, but is maybe,
But
like,
if you don't, don't.
Okay.
And if you want to, maybe still don't. And if you don't want to, maybe still do. Does
Really?
that help?
Okay. Message to all the single ladies out there.
Yeah.
We're confused. That's
I'm confused and I'm 17 years in.
right.
I have no answers about parenting.
Does it get less confusing? More.
when you have to decide what they want to do with their lives as adults. Adult children is not an easy life.
No.
This is why I don't like that we have old presidents right now. It's 'cause
Right.
they have adult children. And I don't want to know about your adult child's life. Like, I don't want to know what Hunter's getting into.
No.
I don't want to know what
no.
I want kids. I want 40s and 50s presidents with young kids.
Yeah.
Where they're like taking French and
Yeah.
learning a language.
Yeah. And it's look at her play the violin or something.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
he's
Not
like,
rolling a Porsche.
yeah.
I don't
or
want to
like,
know.
there's charges or something.
No,
You're like,
I don't want. I don't like any part.
ew.
Yeah, adult children is a terrifying life because you
I
have
feel
no.
like, is it somewhat embarrassing to have adult children?
What do you mean?
Like, they're just like,
You mean be old?
they're like, well, I mean
Yeah.
that, but they're also just like a younger, kind of like ruder version of you. And
Yeah.
you're like, damn, I'm like, sorry guys, I'm responsible for that one. Like,
Yeah. Oh, I hope not. I'm not quite there yet. My kids are still, technically not adults, but I get what it is. I mean, you do feel for like when your child goes through something in the public eye, there's a parent who's just like unbelievable. Like, or like you want to be sentimental. That was the thing when Biden pardoned Hunter.
right.
Even like there were some Republicans who are like, this is bull crap. But even 75% of the country is like, I mean, it's your kid. Your kid messed up. You got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to do it. You could look down on them for doing it, but if you were in that situation, you're like, I actually
Probably do it. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But there was part of me that like, I've been so angry with my children. I'm like, no, serve your time. You know how much of a bad look you were on me the last 17 years?
You deserve that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I can't
yeah.
help you with that one.
Natural consequences.
Doesn't speaking of natural consequences, kids face. I've got some silly TikTok videos
Oh, good.
of children for you.
Good.
And we need your dad take on them.
Great.
Okay. So I'm gonna load them up for everybody here. Dustin, I got some rapid fire questions to wrap up with you.
Great.
So give me just like a sentence or like a couple words, okay? What's your skincare routine?
I wash my face in the morning and the night, and then I put a little moisturizer on it,
Okay.
which I think is more than 99.8% of males that have lived in human history.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's I would never tell my dad I do it. I can't be like, Dad, I'm on camera a lot.
I gotta get the CeraVe on there and all
No,
the pores.
I gotta just do a little something so that people don't notice if I have good or bad skin. I'm not trying to have good skin. I'm trying to not have
Just
bad skin.
Just maintenance. Yeah.
Every once in a while, I'll look in the mirror and be like, that looks pretty good, actually. For a 40-year-old dad, not bad.
Not bad. What's an app you have on your phone that you refuse to delete?
Twitter.
Yeah.
A lot of people have gotten off Twitter, and I'll still call it a Twitter as a little, FU to our boy. Frick you. I'm a clean comedian. To Elon. And a lot of people have gotten it off, and I understand and I respect but I still like it.
You like it. You like just be part of the discourse.
To me,
You
it's
see what's
just
happening.
the fastest app. And it's like I get on and it'll kind of tell me what's happening in the world very fast. And I watch a lot of sports, and like that is the best of the sports apps as far as what's going on. So yeah, Twitter, and there are a lot of my liberal fans and friends would hate to know it, but maybe they'll redeem it a little that I'm on there and I still call it Twitter.
Yeah. And people are deeply funny on Twitter too.
So
like I
funny.
think the funniest people I know are like not comedians. There's just like
Yeah.
one random girl I follow on Twitter who like
Oh, my
her name
gosh.
is just like not even a name, and
Oh,
her
yeah.
circle picture is just a black
It's a great
something.
app. Yeah. Also,
yeah.
it's trashy now. It's a real trashy app. It's like, oh gosh. All right. You're showing me that? All right.
Let's try.
I'll let you fill in the blanks of what trash might be there. I don't know where your mind's going on that, but it's not going where I'm leading it. So
It's okay. My mind, can I say where my mind immediately
Yeah.
went to? I went back to like our conversation about like a picture being slid across.
that's
like,
probably
it's
on there too,
Yeah,
but that's
okay.
not what my
That's not what
algorithm's
you're
showing me.
seeing.
But
Okay.
whatever trash your brain wants, that app will show you.
Oh, okay.
Because it's a totally unfiltered app now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't know you as well as TikTok though, or do you think?
I think it knows you better, and it can show you more.
Oh, okay.
TikTok has way more it won't show you.
True.
Twitter will
It's everything.
Twitter will be
It's-
like,
yeah.
Twitter will show you a beheading.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Twitter is crazy now. Twitter has Twitter has no king. Not even Trump. Not even Trump is king of Twitter.
Do you think Elon's even king of Twitter?
No.
No.
I think I don't think Twitter has I think it is a truly chaotic anarchy system right now that has gotten out of everybody's control, because it'll show you whatever you want. You don't even have to search for it.
Yeah.
It's on there. Whatever trash you want, Twitter is there.
It's the garbage sewer of Twitter.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Absolutely.
we got another rapid fire. When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you look at?
I've gotten better at my phone being on the other side of the room. So I don't do that. I get up in the morning, my alarm goes up. Well, usually my wife gets up about 20 minutes before me, and then she'll flip on the light, and then I'll look to my right and I'll grab a sip of water and I'll take my mouth guard out.
Cute.
Because I grind my teeth. So the first thing that I do in the morning is I look at my mouth guard.
You slurp that out.
Yeah. And then I just put it there, and then hopefully remember to rinse it off later. So the first thing I make eye contact with every day is a dental protection device.
And that's beautiful. And that's thanks to the American healthcare system too.
Yep. I paid a lot of money for it.
Last question for you, Dustin. How do you keep from being overstimulated?
Oh, I don't. Yeah. No, I don't. I mean, there are moments. This is not going to help the Toronto audience, especially right now. The most important thing for me personally, and the thing that I most benefit from and not being overstimulated and stressed, is living in a warm climate and living an outdoor life.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not an exaggeration. It is 75 degrees where I live right now, which is 210 Celsius. I don't know.
It's a sauna.
Yeah.
So to clarify, Dustin, you live in San Diego.
I live in San Diego,
yeah,
which
beautiful.
is quite literally the best weather in America. And so therefore Canada as well. And it's like Mexico. We're very warm.
Right.
It's like it's not full tropical, but it's like Mediterranean. It's very warm. It's very pleasant. And I just cannot recommend, like, it's so important for me to have my first cup of coffee outside in the sun when I can, and to go on walks and to hike and to look at the ocean periodically.
Beautiful.
It's
that sounds beautiful.
I'm thankful to be performing for future Americans tonight.
And we will be grateful.
As you should.
To watch.
Yeah. To watch one of your own.
One of our local homegrown.
A proud American. That will help. If you guys do become America, then you do get to claim you are suddenly the best at a lot of things, like especially like sports-wise and celebrities-wise.
I think it's going to be a bit of an identity arc for a lot of Canadians.
You guys are your gold medal count's going way up.
Yeah, true.
We win a lot of gold medals.
Benefit there.
A lot of gold medals.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Keep your eyes on the prize, guys.
Keep your Canada will be really down, and it would probably be an overall hardship and loss for your country. Man, every 4 years, though, you're going to be like, oh, yeah. Plus, we get your Winter Olympians.
Right.
Oh,
we would actually be unstoppable.
Powerhouse.
Yeah.
Absolute
They would
powerhouse.
have to make a new Olympics or something. Yeah.
It's not so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, we got the losers. You got the gymnasts.
Yeah.
Unstoppable
We got
together.
gymnasts. Also, we probably got some losers, too.
Yeah.
We probably got... Because America is pretty good, and we had Shaun White. We had Michelle Kwan. We've won some gold.
Right
Olympic
in
stuff.
the winter. Yeah.
Nancy Kerrigan and her bum knee.
Yep. Who is she?
You don't know who Nancy Kerrigan
No.
is? Man, all right. She got it's a big story in the 90s. She got attacked by a rival skater's assault guy that she hired. Yeah, because Tanya Harding was worried about not making the. Yeah.
Okay, I saw the movie.
Yeah,
about
they
this,
made a Margot Robbie story where they made her a sympathetic figure, even though she hired a man to assault a competitor.
It would be a pretty boring movie if she wasn't a sympathetic character, though.
Yeah, I just don't know that movie needs to be made.
Yeah.
Nancy Kerrigan's watching that movie like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I was just a nice girl who was good at ice skating. And I got attacked.
Trying to live my dream.
And then I still won a silver medal after getting attacked. And she's like, I'm not the protagonist in this story? What? Yeah.
It's so American.
Not every movie needs to get made. Yeah. I feel like I'm the sympathetic figure. I got actually assaulted. And then a minute later, cameras were on me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like
attacked.
25 years passed. I'm like, maybe there's a different telling of this story. Probably not. probably just a nice girl, a nice, hardworking girl that got assaulted.
This is the most American thing ever to be like, wait,
Yeah.
let's listen to the other guy just a little bit, and maybe we'll make it in a
Which is a good part of being American, that we do listen to the other guy sometimes. You're like, maybe there's more to the story. But you're like, guys, even if it was a sympathetic figure, even if she was, we don't need to make this movie. She committed a bad crime. She hired someone she tried to break her knee to make the team. That's not a good story.
It's giving mafia. She should run for president.
Yeah.
Goes all the way to the top. Oh my God, Dustin, thank you so much for joining us
having
today.
me.
We got all your socials linked below so people can find you.
No one's still here. We went for 2 hours. This podcast was, no one is still listening.
If you're still listening, drop a smiley face in the comments so we know you made it. Give Dustin a follow. Check out his podcast. Check out his 2 specials. You can find them online. You can't watch them, but you can find them on Spotify in Canada.
They're on YouTube.
They're on YouTube. Okay, great. We can find them on YouTube too. Yeah. That's great. Perfect. Any parting words for our listeners, Dustin?
There's been enough words. So many words.
Thanks so much for getting overstimulated with us. We'll see you next time. Bye.